Well, he was naked.
Yeah, I know, but still, that's the point. I mean, like, how she? I mean, the dude could have been like, "My name is Robert James."
Right, it won't
How the freak
matter.
is she gonna check it? He's got no wallet, unless he's got his ID shoved between his ass crack.
Ew. It
Maybe that's what
may.
he dropped, man.
It's gonna make your finger stink for a while.
Live, Prius, or die.
Die. Die. Die.
Live, Prius, or die. Yeah. Yeah, you're safe. Live.
Live, Prius, or Die, episode 13. Today is March 12th, 2016. I have with me, as always, my other brown kid, partner in crime, Pete.
What's cracking, baby?
Hey, you know what day it is?
Is it Friday?
Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody.
Nope.
I can't stand that chick. Don't even get me started on that. And not to be mean, but that video is, that song was weak. You
What's
came
wrong with it,
with some chicken wings and you brought some weak sauce. Are you serious?
man?
So
Is she still like doesn't sexy count for anything?
she was like 15 or 16 when she made that. It didn't even matter at this point. Like her head isn't even like completely, her skull isn't completely soft yet or completely hard yet. It's still soft. So no.
What is she? What is she now? How long back was that
Oh
video?
Jesus! How damn. Let me look.
It's gotta be some time ago.
Okay, it was released in 2011.
Bam, dude, that's like 4 years. I mean, she's like what, 19 now?
I mean, but I can't even look at her and not think of Friday now. Like I like
Wait.
Fridays.
Like Ice Cube Fridays or what?
Ice Cube Fridays are cool. I think of those, but not when I see her. And you know, whoever the dude was, like her producer in the video who's rapping. Yo, it's Friday. Come out the cafeteria with your lunch pass. Grab your book bag, hop in my ride. I'm a pedophile. Blah 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 blah. No, I shouldn't say that. I don't know that dude. But I mean, it was like that, you know. I just that song was just like it was like mouth open the whole time. Anyway, but yeah. So, what was your week like, sir? Mine was very boring. Not too much to talk about as usual. I wish something exciting would happen. I wish.
Mine, it was kind of interesting. I was with a coworker and we were out to dinner and sitting at this bar. This truck driver guy just came rolling in out of nowhere and just kind of parked up next to us, and he was just wild and out of control, man. Just absolute bananas. I mean, he was real excited to tell us that he had just married some like 21-year-old Filipino chick, and he pretty much let the bar know in explicit ways that he was knocking it out.
What was he saying?
He's like, man, and now mind you, this is like during dinner time, and there's like women and children around. He's like, man, I was fucking this 21-year-old Filipino chick, and she is hot.
Oh, that's not right.
Oh man, and you know, like I said, man, women and children around. Dude had no filter. He did not care, and he was just like, "I banged that chick. I'll bang that chick. I'll bang that chick." And he was saying it loud enough for the whole restaurant to partake in the conversation.
Oh, that's nice.
Kind of embarrassing, but you know,
So,
I did like the fact that he tried to include everyone though.
oh yeah, yeah. Little Timmy was like, "Mom, what's anal gangbang? What's that mean?" That sounds
He's like, "Do you like
amazing.
gladiator movies, Timmy?"
Mm-hmm.
He was, yeah, he was partying out of control, man. We finally, you know, and he's bringing up pictures of his chick on Facebook, and she was an attractive woman.
So he's talking to you, and
He
and he's telling you all this stuff like you never met him before.
never met the guy, and he's just opening his life story and just letting his guts spill out.
So
Oh,
she was a Filipino chick, you said?
yeah, he went over to the Philippines apparently, and and get this, on some church mission relief, and ended up like staying over and marrying this chick.
Oh wow,
Yeah, I think he may have had ulterior motives.
small hands.
And as a matter of fact, he did say that his dick looked like King Kong's. arm next to her, next to her arms, and he's like, she's got like little baby hands. And I'm like, golly, this guy just saying it loud and proud, man.
That's wow.
He's like,
I was really
he's
joking.
like, I'm not gonna mess around and fuck this up because I get to go home and knock out a 21-year-old pussy every night. And I'm like, golly, this guy is just too much. It's too much.
I really was joking when I said the small hands thing. I didn't think, but that really happened, huh?
That really happened. He really brought that up, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
That was the question of the night. Daddy didn't love him enough.
Apparently, someone didn't get hugged. Yeah, that's
It's my week.
That's you guys usually have pretty interesting weeks. Nothing here. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing crazy. Oh, I did hear that there's somebody that took a dump in a urinal at my job. Which I find hilarious, but it sucks for the people who have to clean it up, But that's it. That's the excitingness of my job there.
That sounds like a fail.
Yeah, it totally is a fail. Totally. So, but
Could you imagine that dude walks in to go clean up the toilet and he sees this big freaking turd sitting right there where the urinal cake should be?
Yeah, it's like, I don't think I put that urinal cake in there.
He's like, I don't think we have brown urinal cakes.
What was that? Did you see Ted 2?
Yes.
Remember what's his face? What's the password? Fresh cakes.
That's right.
Fresh cakes. Oh, that's just. That movie was hilarious, though.
So what else is happening?
Not too much, like I said here. So let's roll into the news. We have at HuffingtonPost.com. Naked man walks into stranger's home, says hi, falls off cliff. I'm not sure how those things correlate with each other, but yeah,
I gotta hear this. This is gonna be good.
The best part about this is that the story opens up with, and I quote, "First his penis was dangling, and then he was off a cliff." So this takes place in Pendleton, Oregon. This guy's behind bars for allegedly walking naked into the home of a woman he didn't know. Said the words, "Hi, honey," while trying to hug her. Officials said they later rescued him after he fell off a cliff and got caught upside down in a tree. He was still naked.
Wow.
There is a picture of this. I'm gonna post this link on our page. I have to. I'm laughing. I mean, it's a scary thing for this woman. And it says Gail Wilson was at home eating soup Saturday afternoon when the naked man appeared in her doorway. He had a big grin on his face, she told the East Oregonian newspaper. He came walking toward me with his arms wide open. I kept saying, "Get away from me, get out of my house." Wilson was suffering from muscular dystrophy, feared for her life. And then she goes on to say that she told him to get away. She said the man grabbed her dog and took it into one of the other bedrooms for a few minutes. Wilson called 911. The dispatcher told her to ask the man his name, but that made him mad. He ran out the door just as police arrived. The naked suspect, later identified as 30-year-old Stephen Burton, tried to escape by climbing a fence shortly before falling. The police said when they found him, he was hanging upside down from a tree by his ankle. What a lucky bastard, let me tell you.
No shit. I love how they set the stage. She's like, I'm sitting here, I was eating lunch. The reporter has the presence of mind to go, what were you eating for lunch?
Right.
She's
well, it wasn't hot dogs.
She's having soup. She's having a bowl of soup, and the dude runs in with his dick hanging out. I mean, how does she know that he's just not trying to help?
Stir her soup?
Well, maybe. I mean,
let me test the temperature.
But the other thing is, I mean, just analyzing the story. So does she have any comments on? Do they have anything from her? Any kind of statements or anything?
She said, she says, I thought, this is it. I'm going to be raped or murdered. Wilson told the paper, I'd more or less accepted my fate. Today was my day, but I wasn't going to let him take me gently. I don't know.
And subtly.
I don't know about that. I don't know how I feel about that at all. But she's been interviewed twice by the East Oregonian newspaper and by some news station too, and pretty much has said the same thing. But yeah, I mean, this guy was. I mean, he actually tried to fight his way from the police. So the police chief,
naked, man.
well, I mean, but you're hanging upside down from a tree, and it says during this time he was aggressive, non-cooperative. At one point, he even tried to pull the handgun from one of the assistant deputies' holsters from a tree. You're upside down. You have to be hurting. You know, you just slammed your junk into tree bark a few times. Like, what are you thinking? And you used to picture this guy. He does not look happy in this tree.
Well, you know, he probably wasn't able to finish what he was doing with her dog. I mean, so he ran in. Did he? So he sat on her scooter or what?
You know that it doesn't say here in the. It doesn't say here what he was doing. I'm trying to see. It doesn't say what he did. He just moved to another room in the house.
He grabs her dog though.
Why?
He's in there for a few minutes. I mean, there's only a few things I could think of that a naked man would want a dog for, and none of them are to play fetch, or maybe they are to play fetch. I don't know. He's trying to toss him a bone.
Yeah, and it's funny too because they said that he seemed to be in a state known as excited delirium, and it could have been triggered by drugs, which that makes sense. But they booked him, took him to jail on burglary charges, harassment, disorderly conduct, and resisting arrest. This guy looks serious, like seriously messed up. So it
Wait, how could they charge him with burglary though? He didn't really take anything from the home besides the dog's virginity.
and that is a serious offense, sir. There's no laughing matter. He took that woman's dog and was like,
giggity.
He put one on it.
Oh yeah. There is the news. So
Nice.
yeah, I don't know. That kind of got me thinking. Like, what if he had help?
An interesting theory.
How would he go about this? And that kind of brings us back to takes me back to, you know, some of our younger years when we were out. For instance, I was just thinking about this too. When I forget the name of the club, but it was that under 21 club that was across from the mall. Remember that place?
Yes.
You'd always go in there with your steel-toe boots and kick people in the shins, and they had that buffet.
Yeah, I can't. Man, what was the name of that club?
I don't even remember now, but it's funny because we went there and like me, you, and Will would have a good time, but I never left there with anybody, right? And I don't think when we rolled there together, like we left together, like we never picked up anybody. We would always meet chicks outside, you know, different places. But that's just one place that I've never actually said, you know, walked up to a chick and was like, hey, you know, this is a good one. Okay. So, if it's me, I don't use pickup lines. I just talk, you know, but if I were to use a pickup line, I would say, you know, in that environment, I'd say, hey, do you read the Bible? No. You don't? You ever read the book of Numbers? I was reading that the other day and realized I didn't have yours.
Oh,
yeah, see?
a Bible pickup line. Is that wrong to like use the Bible? Isn't that kind of like, it's almost like sacrilegious sexy?
Kind of, but I actually heard some other. I saw on some websites, some Christian websites about different pickup lines. There was one that was like you have a phone and you walk up to somebody and say, "Hey, I'm having some issues with my phone here. I see you have a smartphone too. Just wondering if you could help me." When you put someone's number in your phone, you know what's it supposed to do. So you kind of start a little bit of a conversation. You go, "Well, yeah, I was just God gave me his number the other day," and the woman's supposed to be like, "Okay, so you have God's number?" And you say, "Yeah, but I just realized I don't have an angel's. Can I have yours?"
Nice.
Yeah. See, another, but that stuff doesn't work for me. Like I can't. That's not me. Like I can't just.
See, I would have totally screwed that up. I'd have been like, "Hey, do you read the Bible? Because I'd like to bang you in the ass." I mean, I would get them all mixed up.
That's pretty much.
It would be a horrible train wreck.
That's pretty much what I would do. I would honestly just kind of walk up to somebody and be like, "Hey, you watch NCIS? Because I like to look at your dead body. Wait, no. That's not how that. That's not how that works.
I like to look at your state of decomposition.
Right.
Girls just don't get morbid humor like that right off the bat. They kind of frown on it.
But you find the ones that do, and she needs to be put on the on that timeline, on that scale. That's crazy versus hotness. Because if she starts cracking up on that, then it's like, Because you could totally walk up and be like, so I heard there was a lot of blood in your shower the other day. And she could totally think that's like a period joke. And you're like, no, I heard it was a murder scene, blah, blah, blah. Because, you killed it the other night. And as lame as that is, it would get a laugh. But depending on who it is, if she like belly laughs and doubles over, stay the fuck away from that one. That one's the one that actually has a rape kit like tucked under her bed and is gonna fucking steal the condom and set your ass up like in so many Lifetime movies I've seen before. Yeah, nope.
That's why that's why you just got to stick with the good old standbys, which is like, hey, do you have gonorrhea? Would you like it? So something that's been tried and true. It's been tested and proven to not get you laid.
Yeah. We want to stay away from that one.
It's like, or the trying to set up the conversation where you try to bond over something. It's like, hey, you ever been pounded in the ass? She's all like, no, and you're like, yeah, me neither.
I'm reading this website here, and I'm going to go through this and see if you agree or disagree with some of these statements, okay? And it's like, how to be a good wingman. So we have, number one is, don't try to wing for someone who is significantly less appealing than you. I don't think we've ever had that problem.
Wow.
But that's kind of like blunt and to the point. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's ever been, like, we could always kind of be like, hey, this guy. Perfect example would be when I went to my bachelor party, and I'm not going to say who was there, but somebody told this stripper that this is my first time in a strip club, and she worked me like a part-time job. And later she was like, I was like, you're really sweating and working, like what's going on? And she was like, well, your friends just said that you'd never been to a strip club before. And I was like, okay, yeah. I just ran with it. I was like, okay, yeah, sure, that's what's happening. I mean, she was like, I've never seen a stripper sweat before. This chick was like, forehead was soaked. I was like, you keep going. I hope you packed a healthy lunch. I hope you got some protein in there.
Got him. Wow. Yeah, I have no idea who that would have been.
Right. I don't either. I can't remember. It was so long ago. I was drunk.
Those sons of bitches.
But, I don't understand. I mean, it is. There's a pretty harsh sentence, What does that mean? And the way they phrase it is, if you're a knockout who looks like a mix between Ryan Gosling and Tom Brady, while your friend is slightly below average in the appeal to girls department, then you're just not likely to succeed. Well, no shit.
Damn. So that's basically. I mean, they're basically saying like, Ryan Gosling and Tom Brady, and you're hanging out with Steve Buscemi.
Right.
And you're trying to be Steve Buscemi's like wingman.
And have you ever experienced someone else being a wingman that's not your friend, but you're out and someone else is trying to set it up for their friend? We were out at a good friend of mine. His name is Josh, and his girlfriend Jenna. Her sister was out with us for Jenna's birthday, and we're hanging out. We're down at one of the bar areas here in Indy, and we go to this. We move from one bar to this other bar, and we're finishing up. Well, this guy is like, the best way to depict it is like he's holding a drink. He's in the middle of the dance floor. This place isn't that busy. It's got like a small little dance floor. It's not that busy, and he's kind of like, how some kids, like when they're in trouble or if they're shy, they kind of like push the dirt around with their feet.
Yeah.
This is what this grown man is doing with a drink in his hand in the middle of the dance floor. And I was like, I'm looking at this and I was like, that's kind of weird. Okay, so I get to the bar. I'm talking to Josh. We're drinking, and he leaves. and was there. So I slide down. I was just talking to her. I was like, hey, what's going on? You having a good time? Blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, this guy's friend comes up and is talking to her. And I'm like, what's going on? So I'm listening, and he's like, hey, this is the wingman, okay? Hey, my friend is kind of noticed you, and he's kind of going through a rough time right now, and he's not real sure if he's gay or not. So I was just wondering if you could maybe talk to him or dance with him. And I'm watching, like, the look on this girl's face is like, it just goes from kind of I'm listening to a look of horror at some point. And I kind of was like, oh, she's good, man. She's taking, I kind of stepped in. But it was like his wingman was trying to, that the setup was wrong. That's not what you do. Wow. Like, you don't just go out there and lay this guy's business out there like that. That's not cool at all. Let her kind of find out what he's all about. I don't, in that situation where if you think this guy's less appealing, then why don't you just start a conversation and then invite him over and then back out?
Exactly. So, wow, that he tried to get him some sympathy ass, and she was like, yeah. She's like, I don't deal in charity.
Yeah.
She's like, you don't see anywhere on me written UNICEF. I don't deal in charities.
I don't have Goodwill written anywhere on me.
Yeah.
I bought these clothes from an actual store.
She's like, my pussy is not for sale at a thrift shop. You ain't gonna find that on the shelf.
You are not popping any tags. You do not have $20 in your pocket. Get away from me.
That's right. Ouch, man. That dude went home even more depressed.
Right. Yeah. And it was messed up because then he turned me into her wingman, and she's actually in a relationship. So, it kind of worked out like, I heard what was happening, and I kind of slid in and was like, hey, that's not going to work because I'm with her, we're together, like, she's taken, don't, and I didn't do it, like, I didn't run up and go, whoa, hold on there, like, I just kind of slid in and was like, hey, this is what it is. But that kind of brings up point number 2, let your friend take the lead.
That's right.
Like, he should have just came up and said, a friend of mine is kind of interested in checking you out since you came in. Let's, would you be interested to talk to him or bring him up in conversation or whatever, and then back out?
Yeah, I mean, that's really, it's probably really the best way to do it is and if your boy doesn't have enough stones to get the conversation, because that's probably one of the most difficult things is to start a conversation with somebody. And, once you've engaged them and you start unlocking a little bit of the mysteries, and that's a lot of times what I find in sales too. It's like really initiating a conversation and holding their attention to unlock the details of what their needs are.
Right.
That way you can figure out how to facilitate them. So in dating, I would imagine it's kind of like the same thing. The initial startup, it's like, okay, where can I go to get, an introductory statement that's a real grabber. I think that's where a lot of guys fail. And I mean, right away, you should be able to, like, talk to somebody and figure out right away whether or not they're interested, because they should start dropping signals.
Yeah.
If they're looking around and looking at their shoes and, sucking on their teeth and stuff, I mean, chances are it's not looking good for you.
Yeah, classic sign is just like reading a beer bottle. Like, you're just, they're not paying attention to what you're saying. But yeah, it's
Exactly.
kind of, it's difficult at times to be that engaging. But yeah, I mean, that's a big mistake for him was to not talk him up and then step back. And if you think about it, that requires a lot of trust, because there are a lot of guys out there that are like, yeah, I'm your boy, yeah, we've done all this together, and then it's like, hey, I'm interested in this female over there, I'm gonna go talk to her, and then your buddy's like, oh wait, I got it, and then he goes and gets the digits, and then kind of makes it seem like she's not interested in you when you go and talk to her. There's a lot of guys out there that do that kind of stuff and they're real shady, but then claim to be your friend. And thankfully, we've never had to deal with that. Like, it's been I've had some one-on-ones with, some females that Will's been interested in, you've been interested in, and information gets passed on, and I'm out. You guys pick it up from where that's left off, and that's how it's supposed to be. But I'm looking at number 3 here. It says, give him dibs.
Dibs.
Yeah, like, it's not like I got dibs on that one. That's kind of weird. I just don't know how I feel about that either.
I mean, it's you got to call it. I mean, in the animal kingdom, you mark your territory first. So I'm not saying run up and piss on her leg, but I agree with you. You gotta initiate. You gotta call dibs. You gotta be
Right.
like, yo, that's mine. You got you got her wingman or her wingwoman. Whatever it is. And that may have actually been what happened to old boy when he walked in the house. His wingman might have not have been a friend and set him up just really horribly. It's
That's
like, dude,
true.
man, run up in there because she if you put it out there, she will do it, man. And he's
Right.
all like, really? Drop trowel, ran up inside. He's like, hey, honey, and then he fucks her dog. So obviously, he was really confused about his mission there, but his heart was in the right place.
Right. Among other things that were in the right place. Yeah. The dibs thing is I've always had an issue with that. Number one, because if I'm talking to a woman on behalf of my friend, then I'm not going to. I try to like not make myself appealing. I'm kind of like, yes, and we hang out and do this, and it's funny, and I talk the other person up, and not really focus on me so much, and then either hand off the digits or just basically say, okay, yeah, so maybe you guys should meet sometime. Hey, I'm going to be hanging out with him here. You should come to where we're going to be friends. Like it's like you said, it's like networking. The dibs thing, though, I don't ever walk into it. I don't think any of us have ever walked into a place and said, that one over there, the brunette in the Pink Floyd shirt, that's the one I want. Back off. It's never been that way.
You can't really do it that way because you don't know if she's going to be interested or if the one that your buddy picked is going to be more interested in you than. And I mean, it may end up being like the one that you chose isn't the one that you're supposed to be that is interested in you, and the one that your buddy chose may be interested in your buddy. I mean, it'd be very. You have to let it flow. You have to
Right.
figure out who's interested in who, and then you go after it. And then your wingmen, they shoo away all the other vultures that are trying to set up camp in your area. Give you
That's
time
right.
to talk to the chick and get some information, land those digits. Make that impression. That's what a good wingman does.
Yeah. You get your broom out and say, get off the porch. Go.
Yep.
Shoo.
Sweeping them vultures away. Get out of here. Get out of here, you stinking alley cat.
And I'm looking at this as I read this a little more. It is saying, like, this is learn how to read cues to tell which girl your friends want or your friend wants. Sometimes this can be painfully obvious, but other times you'll have to read the signs to see where your friend is headed. That's all communication. I'm not going to watch you watch. That's creepy. I'm not going to watch you watch who you're watching in the room. That's a lot of watching. I think
That's. I mean, how are you supposed to do what you got to do? And
right.
I mean, with guys, it's more vocal.
Yeah.
Because usually interest is indicated by, man, I would nail that.
Right. Or look at
And so-
look at that hot chick over there.
Exactly. I mean, we're very verbal, and we really don't disguise anything. Anybody that's disguising something is either a first time person out on the scene, really shy, and will probably never get laid unless pussy just drops in their lap, or they're a closet case homosexual.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would agree
Because
with that.
most guys are gonna walk in and be like, "Man, look at that chick, dude. She's smoking hot," and you're like, "Oh yeah, my buddy's interested in her." Maybe she is, and you'll agree with him. You're like, "Yeah, man, she is smoking hot," and you kind of like sit back, and if he initiates a conversation, but then the cues start falling more towards like you, it's like your buddy should be like, I see this is going nowhere for me, but my friend has a chance. I'm gonna set the stage, break the risk, walk away, see what else I can find.
Right.
And your buddy will in turn, or if she's got friends, but like, your buddy will be like, hey, you rolling with some chicks here, your friends,
Right.
let's get together in a group and see what breaks up,
See, and Will is good at that. Will is good at that. I've been at a couple parties with him, and I won't notice what's going on, and he'll be like, dude, she's totally into you, like, go talk to her, what are you waiting on? Like, he'll pick up on it before I will a lot of times, but he's just like, he's that, or he was that, like, in tune, like he could see what's going on in the room, and you wouldn't even know, like, he was scanning. Like, he would just kind of come in, make himself at home, especially at like the house parties that we would go to. He would just basically set up shop, and you wouldn't even know what was going on. and he'd already tell you, this person's this, like she's been checking you out, like he had all that information. And that comes to tip number 4 that they have here, where it says, if there are 2 girls, let your friend take the one he wants and spend your time focusing on the other girl, distracting her and generally keeping her busy. It's kind of like the blown up ninja dummy from Tenchu. You just throw out there and they go and attack it. And you're like,
Exactly.
Hey. So, but I don't know. That's difficult too, man. Women can kind of be secretive, especially if they're both single. And it's difficult to see because in that situation, you could easily approach one. Or if you approach 2, they're both looking at you coming to them. And so when you start talking to one is thinking he's going after her, or they're kind of waiting to see what happens. And you and I both have kind of been in a situation where one female is interested, and the other one thinks that you're interested, and then it like switches.
Mm-hmm.
And that's never that's a difficult situation. You got to kind of combat that one sometimes, especially if you're not looking at either one of them, and eventually it's like, whoa, I just want to go eat pancakes by myself. I'll see you guys later. Like I'm not with that.
I mean, it's like that's a tough thing. I mean, that's almost like a comedian walking out into a cold crowd. It's like you got to be charming and witty to hold this other girl's attention while your buddy's doing his thing.
Yeah,
that's a lot of pressure.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're like a babysitter. You got to come up with all kinds of stuff to keep her entertained and engaged while the magic is happening behind the curtain.
Right.
That's a tough thing.
And that also too will show you, and this is maybe getting a little too deep into it, but you can kind of see the level of friendship those people on. This goes for guys and girls. This goes for men and women, I should say. You'll see the level of friendship between both of them, because they will have, if one starts to show signs of insecurity because the other one's getting attention, then that's the one that's most likely to cut out and leave her friend. That's not cool. Yeah, I don't think I've actually bounced and left you guys someplace just to go with some chick. That's just not. I don't think I've done that. I think I did it to one person, and it kind of just I didn't know what was happening. I thought we were gonna kind of crash and then drive back here, but that isn't what happened. So it's kind of a weird situation I'll get into some other time. But yeah, I mean, you could kind of see that. But then again, you can also look at the type of friendship that they have and see what's going on. So a lot of times my thinking is you got a friend, you got two women that I feel are equally attractive. One feels superior or dominant than the other one. Okay? And this is in any group. This applies to men and women. So if I approach 2 women that way, then you would get who's going to jump out first. If one speaks to me and starts making conversation with me, I'm looking at the other one because I already know what she's thinking, and I'm not trying to pay attention to this one. So if my friends are around, then it's like that's how it works. It's kind of reverse for me. I'll find the one that isn't saying anything, start talking to her, talk her up, and then my buddies will come in and say, okay. So it's kind of like a bait and switch with me, but I don't, I just kind of analyze the situation. If they're both quiet, then I'll just talk to both of them and see what happens from there. But it has to happen in the moment. I can't just kind of say, that's the one. The one over there dancing by herself, eating a cheeseburger, I want that one.
Yeah, that in most cases, that's never going to pan out.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of pressure too. I mean, women can smell. I think they can smell the release of pheromones. They know there's like that wild dick that's out there, and they're kind of like antelope at a watering hole.
Yeah. And
that dick is just on the prowl. They become very alert to it. They're like they smell it in the wind.
Yeah, and they'll pick up on it, like you said. And it's like it's blood in the water. They're like, nope, no pun intended there. They know. They're just like, yeah, I'm staying the hell away from you. And that brings us to another point here, knowing your role when you do that. You can work interference that way. Sometimes you have to get in there and work against the friend or friends in order to have your friend come in and kind of separate them, especially if it's a group of women out and you're interested in one, because then it's like, then it becomes mob mentality sometimes, and you got to be careful about that. But again, it applies to men as well. If a female approaches a group of guys, then it is mob mentality. They're all going to look and judge and say, okay, well, what is she? Especially if it's more than one guy, because we've done it. You know, it's like, what's she wearing? Does she look frumpy? What are you after? Are you thirsty, like for drinks or anything else? You know, like you throw it up, but that's just what, as a group, that's what you do. You know, you gotta all have to be kind of open to see what's going on and quiet.
Yeah, I think when you get a large, and like, it has to be kept to a small group, because I think when you get too many dudes, you know, the alpha male starts to come out in every guy, and I think it's like, you know, too many people trying to exit a nightclub. They all get jammed up in the door.
Right.
You know, and all these guys are just like clamoring over each other to get at this chick, and she may not even be interested in any of them.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, you know, it's like there's all that dick surrounding her. She feels threatened, and then she runs away from the watering hole.
Yeah, and that's a good example of it. But again, that also goes with men and women. You know, it's the same way. I mean, I've definitely had to hit the code red a few times and bounce. You know, just because it's like I'm not feeling very safe here. Not feeling very secure. I mean, we've done that, but we also have an escape plan.
That's right.
Which is always good.
You got to have an out. You got to know where your exits are.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just, I think with the whole wingman situation, it's all about communication, nonverbal signals to each other, and timing. It's everything.
Yeah, and the timing is very important. Timing is very, very important. You know, you don't want to get into a conversation, especially if you're married and you're with single friends. You know, you can actually act as that wingman, but you have to bring up, hey, look, I'm, you know, at some point in the conversation, you know, hey, I'm married, so, you know, then they're going to ask, why are you, you know, that they're thinking, you know, why are you over here then? Well, that's a great distraction, because it's like, oh, no, I'm just here making conversation, waiting for my friends to show up. You're a distraction at that point, and when the single people show up, then she is focused on them. You know, it kind of works better that way. And it's the same way, again, with women. You know, they could say, oh, no, I'm married. I'm just here meeting some friends of mine, and they mysteriously show up, even though they've already been there. And here you go. You know, like that's a good tactic. Again, I'm going to do a Tenchu reference. You throw out the rice ball, you wait for them to get hungry, and you just go and stab those motherfuckers. That's what you do.
They get distracted. It's like, oh no, I'm just here to distract you while while the girl that you guys are supposed to be protecting and huddling around is getting fucked by my best friend. It's like, wah, wah, wah.
Yep, that's
got him.
Yeah, that's man, that is a good ploy there. I don't.
It's all smoke and mirrors.
Always. Oh yeah. One thing that also helps though with that is dress. You know,
Yes.
I've gone out a few times and not cared. I can remember a specific time. Who was that? It was me and you and Will. And Will was dating this chick. I can't remember. But we all rolled up in his LeBaron, remember? Up to Chicago, right?
Oh, yeah.
And him and his girl, I think there was a chick that I don't know if it was a friend. I can't remember now, but we were at Lake Michigan all day, and we smelled like Lake Michigan. And then he was like, "Hey, we're gonna roll to Chicago. You guys should come with us." Well, okay, yeah. Can we use your shower? Nope. You remember that?
Done.
Yeah, I was kind of pissed that night, but it was funny though because we smelled like Lake Michigan, and yet we went to like 2 or 3 different bars in Chicago, and then drove back. And I didn't understand like what the deal was, why he would do that. But he had his chick, and then we were in like swim trunks and t-shirt, and he was just laughing about it. And it is funny when you think about it now. Like I was just kind of hanging out in swim trunks, and wasn't presented right. You know, there was no way we were gonna pick up anybody that night looking like that. I probably looked homeless, so yeah. But that's something that is important. Going out to clubs, and I know I've had my moments too where I wasn't the best dressed, but even going out to different places, I think we were all pretty presentable then. You always had
you gotta have good bait, man. You gotta have good bait if you're gonna catch, the right fish.
Yep. Yeah, no pun intended. And there was you always had your bag of foomph. Had the axe and the deodorant and everything else in it. It was awesome.
Yes.
I remember those.
You gotta be prepared, man, because you never know where you're gonna be stuck at.
Yeah, very true. It could be an eventful night, and it could be a night where you gotta, get out because she neglected to tell you something. So.
Mm-hmm. So remember that. Remember that, listeners.
That's right.
Always leave with a, for lack of a better term, a shave kit, because you never know where you're gonna end up.
Yeah.
And when you're gonna have to freshen it up.
Yep.
And it should contain baby wipes, because you don't want to take a European bath where the front smells good and the back not so good.
Yes, that is very true. So to recap, we're gonna go with I'm gonna say that definitely don't interfere, set the stage, walk away, and have an escape plan. That is always a good thing, because if you don't have an escape plan, if you don't have anybody that you can just call at any time and say, hey, I need you to come pick me up, you need to find somebody that's down like that, because that's kind of important. You may end up trying to use some baby wipes in a Walmart bathroom brushing your teeth. Who knows?
There you go. Find some friends. Find some good friends.
That's right. So yeah, end the night like a pro, and you'll get what you're looking for. That's just how we did it.
Exactly.
So.
There you go. That's the secret sauce.
Yes.
We're noodle folk.
Wow. That sounds really gay.
What?
I'm not sure where that.
It was a Kung Fu Panda reference.
We're noodle folk.
Oh my.
Oh.
So.
George Takei.
Yes.
He sets the world on fire.
He does.
Nice.
So, all right. Well, that brings us to the end of another show. If you like what you heard and you're interested about the things that we have to present to you, things we talk about, check us out on Facebook, Live Prius or Die. We're also on YouTube, Live Prius. And hit us up at our Gmail, livepriusordie@gmail.com. We're also on Twitter and Instagram, Live Prius or Die. I'm just going to say Live Prius or Die one more time. Live Prius or Die. So we're there. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a like. Give us a +1. Retweet us. Touch our bird. Look at our nudie pics. All that good stuff. So
there you go. Tell your friends about us. Tell your mom.
Yep.
Tell your mom's friends.
Tell the friends of your mom's friends. That gets kind of weird though, because you can't just show up to their house. It's like a scheduled visit.
That's right. You got to make an appointment.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, spread the word, and thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Oh yeah, can you imagine him? He's probably like, "Hey there, K9. I'm gonna massage your paws. I see you got 12 tits.
Hey K9, I brought the KY.
I heard you like hard biscuits. I've got something hard for you."
It's like I just stopped over because your mom's making soup, and that's a surefire sign that somebody's gonna get laid.